Hello, what is up guys? We just got the nerfs, such and such. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the main nerf. Well, I'm gonna talk about the lesser nerf first. Where is he? Soulrest marshal was nerfed. Instead of reducing it by 6, now reduces it by 5. I'm okay with that. That's fine. It wasn't a huge nerf. It was a very, very small tweak. He just doesn't work with Jarl anymore. And if you look at it from a very... Like, if you look at it just from a standpoint, you know, it was a combo, even though it required 2 cards out of your 50 cards to pull off, which is pretty hard to do consistently, but let's pretend it is. It was 8/8 in stats, draw 2 cards on turn 5 or 4. And if you could get that off, it is pretty bonkers and insane, and it did tilt me, but at the same time, it was pretty hard to do, so I didn't really think it really needed nerfing, but I guess, you know, it's not, like, this isn't a big deal. It's fine. It getting nerfed, you know, the newer players are happy, it's fine, it's not a big deal. And I think the nerf's fine. Like, it's not a huge nerf, it's still playable. I would still run it in certain decks, it's fine. This, though. Yeah, this happened. So, Murkwater Savage got savagely murdered. He's not going to be run in any decks anymore. Ever. There's no reason to run this guy. The reason why is because, like, if some people don't see how huge of a nerf this is, when you make this card cost 1 extra, I can't tell you how many times. I don't play this guy, by the way. I play control. I can't tell you how many times this guy is a 4/4, and just because of that, I have to have lightning bolt, or I have to have something like that to deal with him. I can't kill him by just ice storming or crushing blowing or whatever else there is as 3 attack, which 3 attack is a very common thing in this game. 4 attack is a lot less common. Yeah, he dies to everything now. He literally dies to everything. There's almost nothing in this game that doesn't kill him now. And because he's also on 3, like, he was already hard to combo the turn you play him. Even at 2, he was hard to combo the turn you play him. You had to play him first, then combo him, then play House Kinsman after him or something. And even then, you rarely saw, like, sometimes, sure, you would see Murkwater Savage and a Murkwater Savage, but you almost never see that combo. Like, ever. That's so rare that it happens, that it almost never happens. So, I didn't want to see this card nerfed, period. But if they were going to nerf him, I would have liked to see him turned into when you summon another Goblin, give him +1/+1, which is recommended by Vernexu, I believe was his name. I think this nerf was way too harsh, and I loved Isle of Digital, but I think they gave in to the newer players freaking out. I really do. Newer players obviously were, like, completely face roll raging about this card, even though it's not OP, it's not even close. This card's actually extremely balanced, and in some situations is extremely weak. It's not ran in every green deck, it's ran in aggro, and it's ran in tempo decks. It's not ran in control, guys. Period. It's not ran in quite a few green decks. There's even green OTK decks that don't run this, which was the Wisp Mother decks and all that. Yeah, this guy is not OP. The fact that he's 3 costs now means that when you play him, you're playing him into the situation where they can play their crushing blows, where they can play their AoEs, where they can start firestorming him. There's a lot of things that can play the turn after you play this, and yeah, he's completely unplayable. The only way you would be able to consistently make him even a 3/3, which is still not good enough, by the way. So, you know, let's ignore that. 3/3 is not good enough. 3/3 for 3 is not good enough. Period. It's not good enough. So you'd have to make him a 4/4 to make him playable. The only way to make this guy a 4/4 is to play him with 2 other creatures. So one, you'd either have to be running extremely weak creatures, which is just disgusting. Like, you'd have to maybe play like 2 Thieves Guild recruits alongside him. That's actually a decent creature. So let's pretend you're running 2 Thieves Guild recruits. You play 2 Thieves Guild recruits. So even assuming you're playing those alongside this guy, even that, it's just so bad. You're doing a 7 Magicka combo to make this guy playable. Do you see how that's unplayable? Like, that you would have to run that in control to make that viable, because in tempo that's way too much of a loss. In aggro that's unplayable. In control that's still bad. I don't know. He shouldn't have been nerfed in the first place. If he was, the nerf that I said would probably be okay. I would be like, yeah, he's still playable. Maybe in the I would be like, in the future he'll be playable when goblins are buffed and all of this, but this is sad. This is sad. This is Warsong Commander treatment, kind of. It's really sad. It sucks that the new players got to the devs. Maybe the devs know something we don't, though, but it just really does feel like the devs kind of caved into a little bit of pressure and the new players raging. Because Archer's not OP. Nothing with green was OP. Control Mage was beating, like, is that like at the top of the meta anyways, even before this was nerfed? And I'm not saying Control Mage is OP either, but Control Mage was at the top of the meta even before this was nerfed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like that deserved a nerf at all. The other thing people are saying is you can play like Goblin Skulk and run like a Goblin deck anyways. You can like play tons of these at the same turn as him. And yeah, Goblin decks were still a thing before he was nerfed, and they weren't viable. So I don't think after he's nerfed they're going to be viable. I don't think that's going to help them. So I just... New players, why? I told you so much on Discord. I told you to stop flipping out about this guy. Just play the game more, learn the game's mechanics, learn this guy shouldn't have been nerfed. I was going to get down both to Oblivion because you guys were like, he's OP, but he really isn't. He was not OP at all. This guy was nowhere near it. People were calling him Undertaker. No, he wasn't. He was not even close to Undertaker. He's more like a questing adventurer. Sucks. If he was a 1-drop, I'd been like, yeah, nerf him to 2-drop. But he was a 2-drop. And this game has 50 card decks. The consistency of drawing this guy and playing him with something else the same turn is so freaking low, and the consistency of getting him in your open mulligan is so freaking low. I don't know, man. This is sad. This really is sad. I don't like that it happened. It makes me pretty sad. I don't know. Hopefully they revert it. I really think they made a huge mistake with this guy, and I'm really sad. I don't mean that in hate or anything. It's sad. Yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you have a great night, great day, wherever you're from. As a good friend Shum would say, and I love you all.